All right, let's jump right into this. The Goat Canyon Trestle Adventure. We start out off exit 73 out in Jacumba off the 8. This is high desert mountains, San Diego, California. Get parked in the gravel parking lot across from the gas stations there on Carrizo Gorge Road, and immediately start heading back west on the Fire Road, Carrizo Gorge Road, or Carrizo Gorge Road. And you drop right as soon as you get under the freeway. You drop down here right next to the railroad tracks and just start running along the tracks. You saw the vehicles that were parked there. Those are all hikers. It is a Saturday, and you can park there, or you can go a little farther up the road so you don't have to hike as far and park at a nudist colony campsite there. That's right there. They charge $5 and they will watch your vehicles for you. Apparently they have a bar and restaurant. They're incredibly friendly people, but we didn't get to stop and visit that. The reason this little section's in here is I wanted to show you what it's like for someone who's newer to this experience. Chewy's been riding for a long time, but hasn't been in the dirt much. He's a street motorcycle rider, 30 years. This is maybe his second or third time out with me, and this is definitely the most technical he's seen yet. This is the first stop, not by choice. This is the first set of railroad cars that you run across on the tracks, and he thought maybe by running straight up into the track exchange, it would basically just lift him over the rail so you didn't have to try and pop it or anything like that. Didn't work out for him. He got stuck pretty good, so we all jumped off and helped him get unstuck. Not a big deal. No harm, no foul. But we did interrupt the guys there, their photo shoot. They were trying to get pictures, and I think they found us incredibly distracting, yanking this motorcycle around. Originally, we were going to hike this, and I called my Uncle Mike. That's the guy there standing on this side of the bike. He's an avid outdoors guy and motorcycle rider, and he's like, well, we can ride out there. So instead of a hike, it became a ride. You can see some of the graffiti artwork there on the train cars. Some pretty amazing work, really, and it looks like people go out there quite often and update it. And you know how graffiti artists are. They go over each other's work and are not so nice to each other. This section right here, this is the first trestle we go across, and it is in incredibly bad shape, and that's why I got this in slow-mo, so you can see just the missing chunks out of this thing. And it's pretty scary on a motorcycle. You know, I ride a lot of street. I grew up on dirt bikes, but this is really my first time out in a long time. So just add another level of excitement. So the goal here is the Goat Canyon Trestle. Like I said, we were going to originally hike it. It's about 8-9 miles each way. But Mike said we could ride out here. We decided, there you go, you can see another trestle in ill repair. On the way back, I almost went right through that hole. I completely forgot about that, and I was running along those boards on the left. Back to the storyline here. Railroad was built right around the turn of the last century by John Spreckles, the sugar guy, sugar beets. Pretty much ran sugar everywhere on the West Coast back that time. And he wanted a direct route from Yuma to San Diego. I believe he had a sugar factory in Brawley out there in the desert. So he was determined, and they built this railroad, which they said they could not be done. And sure enough, they got it done. Ran from right around 1909 to 1983, I believe it was again. Here's our second get-off point, jumping back and forth off the tracks onto the trail, and so on and so forth. These railroad cars, again, had some incredible graffiti artwork on them, so we decided to stop and pull the drone out and get some good drone footage and just play around a little, take a little break. On the bikes, you can get out there pretty quick, so we were able to take our time and just have fun with it. And after about a 5-minute break there, we played with the drone, we got back rolling. Now, if you're going to hike this, I suggest a really early morning start and only hiking in winter and spring because it is high desert and it's going to get hot quick. This is out in Macumba, just before you drop down into the valley, Imperial Valley. These tunnels are amazing, so long. Like, as you can see, I sped this up to like 5 times the speeds, but I just wanted you to still be able to get a feel for how long these tunnels are. If you were walking, you'd easily be walking in the dark or with just your headlamp or flashlight for probably half an hour, because it took us about 7-8 minutes to get through this tunnel, moving at the pace that we're moving, which is probably somewhere between 8 and 15 miles an hour. And it's not exactly smooth. You can see there's a lot to run into and obstacles and whatnot. It's got kind of a creepy vibe, but it's fun. And then I don't remember if it's this one or not. Yeah, I think it's this one at the end. It's actually got a bit of a cave-in across the tracks. Yeah, pretty crazy. And we're out. Again, if you're gonna hike, what's this like?
Keep looking around, Uncle Mike. These were gated off. So you had to go around, or they're caved in.
You had to go trail?
Yeah, so there were little trails all the way around on your mountain bike or hike. So the guy said that the one tunnel after the big trestles collapsed, we'll have to walk the trail and see if we can make it.
Right.
So here we are riding alongside Chewy again. He is our headlight. Didn't need it so bad in this tunnel because obviously we could see the other end and it was pretty well lit. Again, like I said, lots of hikers on this trip. Man, that brake line's annoying. I'm sorry about that. Wasn't planned. It was the only place I could mount the camera. As you can see, this ride doesn't have a super high level of difficulty, but the technical aspect, you have to pay attention the whole time because it's tight. It's a lot of danger. This trestle that we're going out to see, the Goat Canyon Trestle, is the largest wooden curved trestle in the world, which is kind of cool. Well, there's a reason why we got this tunnel in here. This is pretty cool. As we got towards the end, there's a couple of trail runners, a couple of girls come running along, and incredibly distracting for my dear sweet Uncle Mike. So much so that he dropped his bike. I was worried he hurt himself there, or hurt the bike, but he was fine. And obviously, once we got going and got back to the truck, I gave him a hard time about it. Had to. Some more fun stuff, information, history about this particular Carrizo Gorge Railroad. Where the Goat Canyon Trestle is, that is there because of a damaged cave in landslide that happened around, I think it was 1931 or 32. One of the caves, one of these tunnels, caved in from an earthquake, and they decided they couldn't dig it out, so they rerouted, and that's how we ended up with this trestle. The landscape is harsh and vast. It's pretty cool here. The reason I threw this section in is so you can see off there in the distance all those different trestles. There's a lot of them. I think there's 17 tunnels and 20 plus trestles along this route. Now you can hike this route. You can ride this route like we do. There's also another hiking route that I'll get into once we get to the destination here at the Goat Canyon Trestle, which is coming very soon. But in the 3-mile hike that you take out of Ocotillo, the elevation change is something like 2,000 feet each way. So that would be a serious ass kicker. I mean, there's people who do it, but like I said, I'll show you here when we get parked how crazy it is with the drone footage. This trestle is 600 feet long and 200 feet high. It's pretty impressive. It's pretty cool when we got out there. We actually had the intention of riding across it and continuing on our ride, but the cave on the other side now is, or the tunnel on the other side is now caved in. You can see the old route right directly back there that's all crooked and downward. The hike actually comes from, if you see that ravine that goes straight up the mountain, that's where people hike down from after they crest that. So it's all big rock, and I don't know, nothing I'd want to hike. We were talking about trying that, but when I hike it, next time I'll probably hike it, and I will take the long way. No thanks. Again, you can see a bunch of the other trestles out there in the distance. Now keep in mind, if you do make this trip, this is all owned by the railroad still, even though it's abandoned. So you are technically trespassing, and you do stand a chance of going to jail, or at the very least getting a fine. There we are. Now on the way back, the reason I threw this section in is kind of funny. On the top of the trains, I can spot in the distance, doesn't really show up in the camera, but you can see in that picture, there's two guys up there. They were in togas, and one had his butt out, and the other guy had his other thing out, and you can see there's another guy here with no shirt on off to the left, and a bunch of camera and video guys. Not sure exactly what was going on, but they were definitely making some kind of film. And of course, the last set of railroad tracks we got to get off of, and Chewy drops his bike. I know he was tired. And, had a rough day so far with this new adventure out in the dirt. But he was a hell of a trooper, man. He did really good for really this being his first time out with something this technical. He did really well. But we help each other out. We get this done. So I go down and run down and get his bike for him. Remember, bring plenty of snacks if you're going to hike it, or if you're going to ride it. Plenty of snacks, plenty of water. Don't go by yourself. Make sure you have somebody with you. If you're afraid of heights, this really probably isn't for you, because a lot of those trestles and a lot of the mountain cliff edges you're on are kind of spooky and intimidating. So something just to be aware of. And from here, that about wraps it up. This is the end, folks. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like what we're doing, please like, share, and subscribe. Want to know more about us, the Modern Day Pirates? Check us out at mdpcrew.com.
High five.
And yeah, until the next one. Thanks for watching.